Drop-down menus are one of the most common types of user interface components that you see every day in nearly every software application and program and multimedia interface. So by way of example, let me jump over to Microsoft Word. This is the Microsoft Word document window. And like most software programs, if you look at the very top of the window, you will see horizontally across the top of the screen a list of menu options that will open up a drop-down menu when clicked upon. So if I choose the File menu, then underneath that is a drop-down window where I can choose New Document, I can open a file, close a file, save it, etc. I can scroll across the list of menu headings, and every time my mouse hovers over one of the labels for that particular set of menu commands, a drop-down list appears, giving me access to more commands that are buried beneath it. So this is one way for a program designer to build in navigation for the software tool or interface that the user is using, and provide a way again to consolidate a lot of information in a way that doesn't clutter up the screen. You can just imagine if every one of these drop-down lists were open at the same time, that the amount of visual information before the user would be overwhelming, and it'd be very difficult for them to navigate within the screen space of the actual program. So drop-down menus are a very, very handy tool for us. Let me show you some other ones that are more the types of things that you'll see in an online experience. So for that, let me jump over to Safari. This is the main navigation bar, and I'll zoom in so you can see it better here. The main navigation headings are articles, freebies, tutorials, weapons of mass creation. And every time I select one of these, I get a nice rollover effect that changes the color of the menu heading, puts a nice little creative underscore under it, and then the drop down list appears below it, giving me again choices related to content areas that I can go and explore. This is a very simple use of the drop down menu within the design architecture of a multimedia experience. This is the Washington Times online newspaper site. Along the very top here in the masthead is the main navigation bar at the top of the screen, put into a place where we most likely are going to look to find it. And I can select from news, opinion, campaign, sports, etc. And you can notice here that some of the drop-down lists are conventional, like the one here that says Campaign 2012. And I have just a single vertical list of choices within this drop-down list. Other ones, such as opinion, I end up getting what's called a mega drop-down list. This is a list that actually expands horizontally to give me much more information to choose from. So this list could extend further down into the page, but what the designer has done is actually created a two-column drop-down list so that it's less vertical and it's a little bit more pleasing to the eye. If we jump over to the Food Network site, they do a similar thing. They have some mega drop-down lists that are really, really large. And again, if I hover over some of these tabs in the middle here, eventually they open up. This one, Quick and Easy, has a mega drop-down list that appears. And again, I can come in here and see lots of places that I can visit within the site that are represented as hyperlinks. As I scroll over them, they change color and they have that familiar underline rollover effect, just reminding me that these are clickable links that will take me somewhere should I click on them at this particular point. And again, more examples of the mega drop-down list. And here's another site, and the same thing here. I've got buttons along the top of the page. Some are just static buttons like the home button that if I click on it, it simply returns me to the home page of the site. And as I move to the right and hover over these other menu options, they open up to, again, mega drop-down lists that allow me to choose other areas within the site to visit. And finally, if I go to Amazon.com, this is one of the examples in the textbook in Chapter 5. In the left-hand sidebar, you'll find the main navigation interface. Once my mouse intersects that and begins to hover over it, that interface will expand and provide a horizontal drop-down menu that appears out to the side of the vertical list. So as I scroll up and down through these options in the vertical drop-down list, a horizontal sidebar provides me with additional links to additional pages. And you can see too that drop-down lists do not have to simply be text. In this particular case, we have graphics, images, logos, color, all sorts of things. You could even see animations that would be embedded in here. You just have to realize the more complex the drop-down list, the more programming and time is going to have to go into creating them. But anything's possible, and there are people who are very talented on the coding side in terms of JavaScript and other programming tools that can create these types of visual effects. Here's one with a photograph, a couple of those, and so forth. So drop-down lists, like any type of interface component, they exist to make the user's experience more friendly, more user-friendly, to make it easier for people to approach content within a multimedia experience and find the information that they need to find. The more complex the site, such as a shopping site like Amazon, the more intuitive and the more flexible the user interface and navigation needs to be in order to provide a pleasing experience for the consumer.